Good morning, YouTube. This is Jamaica 5288. So today I want to talk to you about sleeping bags and bedrolls. Winter is not over. We're just at the end of January and the beginning of February. You see my shirt? That's where I lived at one time. So not only did I live here, but I know a lot about sleeping bags and bedrolls because I am retired military. So we didn't do bedrolls in the military. We did the old military grade sleeping bags, and if you can find one of those on eBay or in a thrift store or a military surplus store, get it. The old ones, which I used when I was in the military, I never got cold, and we slept in those sleeping bags a lot. Sometimes I slept with them for like a year or so while I was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. I went to both. So when I got back, I have a sleeping bag, but I don't have it here. And it's a military grade one, and that one I keep in an undisclosed location just in case of emergencies. But this I keep in my truck. You know, I'm in Texas. We drive trucks and cars, but a lot of us enjoy trucks because we go off-roading sometimes. So this is a bedroll, right? And the reason why I have this in my truck is because you can get out of it quick. So when you're in your car, you don't have a lot of room. And I'll show you this sleeping bag in a minute, because this one you can zip in and out of real quick. And you can use it and walk around in it. That's why I like this one. I bought this one for my mom. But back on to the bedroll. So this is my bedroll. And I like this thing because it's mobile and you can get in and out of it quickly, and it's safe. I mean, especially for women who are traveling. So I keep this in my truck at all times. And I'm in Texas. We don't have a lot of cold weather, but when I'm traveling, I may go across state, and what if my car breaks down in a cold place and I cannot get out to find help, or I have to sleep in my truck? This will help out. So I keep it in the back seat of my car. I keep it on the floor in the back of my truck. I don't have a car. So I'm gonna roll this thing out, right? And all this thing is I hope you can see this, is a 6-foot by 8-foot tarp. If you're a man, you may need a bigger one, but for me, this will work. I'm under 6 foot. I'm under 8 foot. So you're gonna take this thing and you're gonna flap it out. Inside this thing, I have the tarp, and then I have 2 blankets. If you need a lot more blankets, just put more blanket in there. I suggest, if you're in a very cold climate, that you get a wool blanket, a military grade wool blanket, or a wool blanket from anywhere, and put it inside as one of these things. I would not suggest that you make it the one on the interior, because wool is itchy. I'm speaking from experience. So we're going to take this thing, right? And you're going to get inside. You know, you're in your truck, in your back seat of your truck, or in the front seat. You put this thing under you and you wrap yourself up like a burrito. So I'm going to take one side, flip it over, and take the other side and flip it over. Feet are covered, everything is secured. You all get the gist. You're going to lay down, go to sleep. If you hear something or you need to get up quick, you just open it up and you are out of this thing. That's why I like it. For women and children, and you don't know where you are when you break, where you're going to be when you break down, or where you're going to be when you need to have this thing in your car. I like this better because of that. Because you can get out and it is safer, and somebody's doing something nefarious, you can do what you have to do in a hurry. And when you're done with it, you just take it, you open it back up. Let me move my sleeping bag out the way. Y'all will see that in a second. You open this back up. Make sure your blanket is inside of the tarp. So I sometimes have to flip it over just off-centered like it is now. Spread it out, and you take it and you flap it over, right? One time. Okay, I got it flapped over one time. Then I'm going to take the other side. Make sure that the blanket is inside of the tarp. You don't want your blanket to get wet. This tarp is waterproof. It's a canvas tarp. It's what tents are made out of. Then you're going to flip it over again, right? So now we got all of our blankets enclosed in the tarp, right? Make sure that nothing is showing if you can. Do your best. And you take it, and anybody in the military is going to know what I'm doing. I'm trying to compress it as much as possible. And in doing that, I take this thing and I press down on it and I start rolling. They used to grade us on this. I mean, they used to make us roll our t-shirts to the length of a dollar bill. So we want to take up and I appreciate it now because I want to take up the least amount of space in my vehicle as possible. And the tighter you roll this, the less space it takes up. And the less people know about it. So you can hide it in your truck. It doesn't have to take up a bunch of room. Then I take my bungee cord. And I used to have 2 of these. I don't know what I did with the other one, but I have to buy 2 or 3 more because this tarp can be used for a lot of things. And I suggest you put a bag over it. If you get like a duffel bag or something, you can put it in the duffel bag. I have a bag that I got from one of the trips I took, and I just put it in there and put a garbage bag on top. You can use a contractor garbage bag. The only thing with that is that you got to worry about mold. If you have room and you don't have a lot of debris in the back of your car, just leave it out like that. And even if you do, this thing has been around. It's a tarp. You can put this on the ground. You don't have to be in your vehicle. I suggest you get another tarp, one of those cheap ones from Walmart, a little bit bigger than this, like a 10 by 12. Lay it out, and then you use this so that the plastic part of the tarp will cover you. If you don't, go and get a contractor's trash bags, and they're like, which one is this? This is 55 gallons. So you take one of these, lay it down on the ground, or take 2 of these. I mean, you get a whole bag of them for about like, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 bucks. You lay this down on the ground so that you don't get wet. Although this thing is waterproof, you want to just, I mean, this is just an added layer of protection. You throw that in your bag also, and you're done. The tarp is a little bit more expensive than one of these. I mean, this is a cheap sleeping bag, but I mean, it's better than nothing. This, you can adjust it to whatever environment you're in. So, I'm going to go on, and we're going to talk about this in just a second. This is the one I keep in my truck at all times. Now, this thing right here, I got this for my mother, who is elderly. This is kind of heavy for an older person, right? This sleeping bag I got from Amazon, right? And I got it because she's older, and she's not, her bones aren't as strong as they used to be. She doesn't like heavy stuff, so I don't buy her heavy coats or anything. She's in New York, right? So when I came to visit, my, New York houses are run off, or our house is run off of gas. And you hear the clinkety clank at nighttime and the furnace coming on. But I'm always cold. So she was like, you know what? If you're always cold and you're not used to this temperature anymore, just use my sleeping bag. So this was a sleeping bag I bought from her. And this thing, let me get closer. This thing, you have 2 ways out. So I bought it for her because she could put her legs out of the bottom. And there's 2 armholes here. See that? You can buy this on Amazon. I think it was $35 at a couple of months ago. So you can get in it and you can have your arms in here. You could bring your arms out. So you have a way of getting out of this thing. And then, of course, it unzips down here. So if you want to lay it and air it out, you can. And this thing lays out just like the bedroll, except it's way lighter. But you're also mobile in this one. I believe you're more mobile in this, but I mean, you could walk around your house with this one because of the armholes. You see those? Because of the armholes, you can walk around with this sleeping bag like it's a suit. Anyway, this is Jamaica 5288. Surprise, I'm retired military. I'll talk to you later. Bye.